On a warm, breezy afternoon, beneath the golden sun hanging high in a cloudless sky, a great bull stood quietly in a meadow. He was a majestic creature, broad-shouldered and muscular, with horns that curved like crescent moons. His large hooves pressed firmly into the earth, and his eyes, calm and deep, gazed out over the peaceful field. Every now and then, his tail would lazily swat away the occasional fly, but otherwise he remained still, chewing his cud and enjoying the warmth of the day. Nearby, darting through the air in a series of quick, buzzing zigzags, was a tiny gnat. No bigger than a grain of rice, the gnat flew proudly as if he ruled the skies. Despite his size, he believed himself to be quite significant, an important creature whose presence could not possibly go unnoticed. As he zipped through the field, the gnat spotted the bull. Impressed by the size and stature of the animal, the gnat was also struck with an idea. What a perfect throne this bull's horn would make, the gnat thought. Surely a creature so mighty will be honored to host someone like me. With a confident flutter, the gnat landed right between the bull's massive horns. From this high perch, he looked out over the field and smiled to himself, convinced he had now become part of something grand. He imagined himself a king on his throne, watching over a kingdom. For several minutes, the gnat rested there, basking in the sun and his own sense of self-importance. He admired how well he had chosen his seat and how lucky the bull must be to have him as a guest. But after a short while, the gnat grew restless. His attention span, like his wings, was quick and flighty. Feeling it was time to move on to greater adventures, the gnat prepared to leave. But before departing, he thought it only proper to announce his exit. After all, he believed himself to be a courteous guest. Rising into the air, he called out in his tiny voice, "Dear bull, I must thank you for your hospitality. I hope I have not been a burden during my stay. I'm sure you noticed me resting between your horns, and I trust I did not inconvenience you. I shall now take my leave." The bull didn't move. He continued chewing, unfazed and unbothered. Thinking perhaps he hadn't been heard, the gnat repeated, a little louder this time, "I said I'm leaving now. I wouldn't want to trouble you any longer." Finally, the bull slowly turned his eyes upward, gave a calm blink, and replied in a deep, gentle voice, "Burden? Trouble? Little one, I didn't even know you were there." The gnat froze in midair. Embarrassed and a bit deflated, he buzzed away quietly without another word, the echo of the bull's simple reply following him through the sky. And so, with just a few words, the bull had taught a lesson the gnat wouldn't soon forget. This short fable carries a message that still rings true today. Many of us, like the gnat, go through life assuming we have a greater impact on others than we actually do. We imagine our presence as being carefully noticed, our words deeply remembered, our actions heavily scrutinized. We fear judgment, crave attention, and sometimes mistake noise for importance. But the truth is often far simpler and far humbler. Most people, like the bull, are too focused on their own lives to notice every little thing we say or do. They're busy with their own thoughts, their own worries, their own paths. The gnat thought his visit was meaningful to the bull, but in reality, it was nothing more than a moment that passed unnoticed. What Aesop reminds us through this fable is the value of humility. We don't have to exaggerate our importance to feel worthy. We don't need constant recognition to validate our presence. And for the gnats of the world, there is wisdom in realizing that not every moment needs to be announced. Not every action needs praise, and not every goodbye needs acknowledgement. There is freedom in knowing that we don't always need to be noticed to be valuable. So, the next time you find yourself overthinking how others see you or inflating your own role in someone else's story, remember the gnat and the bull. Ask yourself whether the noise you're making is really necessary, or whether your energy would be better spent simply being, learning, and growing. Sometimes being quiet, observant, and kind, without demanding the spotlight, is the most powerful thing you can do. And just like that, in the gentle buzz of a gnat and the quiet strength of a bull, Aesop has left us with a timeless truth. Humility speaks louder than pride, and true strength doesn't need to shout.